Okay, we will call the March Cultural Committee to order. Our chair cannot be here. She's taking care of business, personal stuff, so I'll take care of the meeting. So we'll call this meeting to order. Councilor Hatfield, you want to bless the meeting?
Yes. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for this wonderful day. Thank you for getting us all together to help us make great decisions for our Cherokee people. Help us to be kind and respectful to each other. Thank you for everything you do for us. Thank you for everything you do for our people. In your name I pray, amen.
Amen.
So, Shelley, roll call. Ani.
Bill England.
Honey.
Keith Austin.
Here.
Harley Bezer. Sean Crittenden.
Here.
Mike Dobbins.
Here.
Shannon Duncan. Wanda Hatfield. Rex Jordan.
Here.
Dick Lay.
Here.
Mike Shambach.
Here.
Mary Bakershaw.
Ani.
Leah Smith.
Here.
Denise Taylor.
Here.
Carter Warren.
Honey.
We have a quorum. At this time, I'd entertain the approval of the minutes.
I played Chambach.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, ayes have it. Drop down the reports. Cultural tourism, Molly Jarvis, and she is here.
Good morning. Our updates from our report that we submitted include work on the Capitol building downtown, which is the Cherokee National History Museum. That work is coming along very nicely. We will be planning some VIP and some sneak preview tours toward the end of May with an opening in June of that building. So it's just coming along really well. I'm gonna actually take an opportunity to visit later today and see it. We still are working on the cultural pathway that will link between the Capitol and then the prison museum, all of our cultural assets there. So we're still working on that plan. And then the Saline Courthouse restoration is continuing to progress nicely, including starting the caretaker home later this month. And both of those should be finished and ready to open by July in the summer. Then on our retail update, we do have new spring items in the store and some sale on the fall. You can see in the report and then online more details about the upcoming museum promotions that we have. We'll be changing out all of the exhibits at the museum and having some new classes that are offered. In our tours section, we still have availability for our spring education tours. If you have any schools in your communities who are interested in doing that, we are still accepting applications for those spring tours. And then the two big upcoming events that we have is one is the Cherokee Art Market Youth Competition, which will take place starting next Saturday, April 6th through May. And it's a good opportunity for our young artists to participate in a high level competition leading up to the Cherokee Art Market. And then coming up just a couple weeks away, and I can't believe it's already here, is our 6th annual Cherokee Days in Washington, D.C. at NMAI. And the new things that will happen this year during that festival include a banner exhibit of the removal exhibit that we had last year featured in its own gallery. That those banners will be on display on the 4th floor of the museum in conjunction with our Treaty of New Echota coming out and being on display. That will be moved from the National Archives in DC to NMAI to go on display while we're there. And there will be a small ceremony related to the unveiling of that. And then it will be on exhibit in their treaties exhibit on the 4th floor at NMAI for 6 months. So we're very excited and honored to be a part of that.
You've been busy.
Yes, all the highlights, unless
Yes.
there are any questions.
Any questions for Molly? Yes.
Hi, Molly.
Hi.
How many museums do you oversee?
Yeah, and I'll kind of give an overview because some of them are properties like the Welcome Center. But just for museums, there is the Supreme Court Museum downtown, John Ross, that is out beyond Park Hill, and then the Prison Museum and Sequoia's Cabin site, and then the Capitol.
And, I had a employee contact me. Now, do all of them open at the same time?
They are closed. Cheryl may have to give me a little hand with this, but Mondays we are closed. Sunday and Monday, and then most of them operate around a 10 to 5 time frame. But then there is some.
That open at 9.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so,
that's Tuesday through Saturday.
so they all would open at 9 o'clock?
No, not all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the employee was just curious, that some of them open at 9 and some of them open at 10. Was there a reason I could give him that's the case?
I think if they're C and B, they're 10 to 4. Is that correct? And
Well-
if they're the government, they're more like 9.
We started the program around 10 to 4. And
Okay.
it's on demand. As far as, our tour groups are coming in. Most of the museums will be there at 9 o'clock.
Mhm.
So if we start having visitors, so.
Okay, I think their question was, some of them open at 9 and some of them open at 10.
Okay.
And some of the employees may get there early and leave late, and making, of course, when there's no one there, or later, some of these other employees are thinking, why can't I do that? So I was curious about the
Okay.
scheduling.
All
Mhm.
the museums except the Supreme Court are posted 10 to 4. The Supreme Court was our first museum, and we posted it from 9 to 4.
9, the Supreme Court is 9.
It's the only one.
Now, we've got a lot of things to talk about, but is there something I could tell him why that they don't all open at the same time?
We can look into that. I mean, I think, like Cheryl was saying, the Supreme Court was our very first one to open, and we didn't have a lot of experience with hours of operation and knowing when the busy time was going to be. And we posted that one 9 to 4 on the building. So kind of staying committed to that timing. And then we realized, well, 10 is more of a retail time opening for most stores and facilities. And so I think we've shifted to that. So we may need to look at if we need to adjust the Supreme
Well,
Court.
I don't mind to look at that, and maybe look at some of the scheduling where when they come in, and so all of them feel like they're, treated equal about, how they get their hours.
Okay, we'll
If you
take a
look
look
into
at
that. And also, they'd mentioned some of them have older registers. And
Yes.
you might want to,
We are actually in the process of updating the entire point of sale system through all of our retail stores, and that's an initiative through Cherokee Nation Entertainment. We have the benefit of working with the IT department and the expertise there, and being included in the point of sale system upgrade that the entire Cherokee Nation Entertainment retail side is doing. And most of our stores will receive that updated point of sale, the register, but there are a couple of locations where just, excuse me, that expense doesn't make sense, or the internet capability required to run those point of sales is not there and doesn't exist in some of those more rural areas. So some of them do have, and I think specifically John Ross and Sequoia's Cabin have limited internet access to run those point of sales through the IT department. So in those, we do have to have a more traditional register rather than an internet-based system.
but they all could, if they need be updated to,
Well, we do have some limitations in those more rural sites like
well, not
John.
necessarily the internet ones, but if they're having trouble with them, they could for sure be fixed, I'm sure, the registers,
If
even if
they're-
it's an old one.
If they're broken, they can be fixed, but we're doing an entire upgrade of the system.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Hey, just one quick comment on the, yeah, and it aggravates me too. You can't go to a museum on Monday, you can't get a haircut on Monday. But, maybe we can take care of that. No, the mural home. I know that's not ours, but do we have an agreement with them in any way?
We do, and we have had a longstanding agreement with them for and it's with the Oklahoma Historical
Yes.
Society. At the locations that we bring our tour groups to frequently. So yes, we have an exchange agreement with them in terms of the rate that we pay when visitors go there.
They do a good job there. The only thing, and this is maybe a tribal thing I need to talk to the leadership about, if you're coming in from the lodge, if you're coming in from the west going to the mural home, to the right there before you get there, there's a property there. It's kind of an eyesore there. And then our park is closed at the mural home and where the playground was. That only invites people that do not want to do right all the time. I'll put it that way. And somehow we probably need to take a look at that again and see how we might clean that up. And it'd be neat if the tribe owned that property right past the elk so we could maybe put a nice sign there, make it more appealing, because that's one of our oldest tourism pieces that we have that I don't think we could ever duplicate again for the history that it has. But just take a look at that sometimes, and maybe we can talk to leadership and say, how can we make this more appealing as you're approaching the mural home? Because right now it's not very appealing. The guys there do an excellent job with that place. They're raising, they've got a garden there, they've got
Yeah.
livestock there, and they really go above and beyond. I think his name was Dave.
David Fowler.
Yeah, very, very, very neat person there. Okay, that's all I have. Yes, Counselor Dodd.
Molly, what was the reason behind changing the name of the Merle home?
To the Hunter's Home. I don't have the specifics of that. Do you have?
Yeah, well, it was a state decision, state-owned property, and the original home was called Hunter's Home, and so the rural home was after the first owner, and so they went back to what he traditionally called the home.
And to confuse us, right?
There has been a lot of confusion.
I'll just, thank you, Chair.
Anybody else? Yes, Counselor Critton.
I was just gonna say, we might be able to put a barber shop in that place you're talking about.
You have to open it on Mondays.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? All right, good report.
Thank you.
Cherokee Nation Language Program, Roy Boney and John Ross. No John Ross, we just have Roy Boney.
See you in God.
So,
Just me today. Most of our staff is in North Carolina this week for the Cherokee Language Consortium. And if they're not there, we have some staff out at the Heritage Center today doing the Indian Territory today, so it's a busy week for us this week. But with the consortium, we're doing something a bit different this time too. They went out to North Carolina, but we're also doing a live stream event over the web with it. It's currently at the Master Apprentice office, but the idea, we're doing a test run to see if we can get all the bugs worked out, because we want it to be not just where people can watch it, but where they can interact too, so we can bring in speakers from the community, and they can come in and ask questions, or even contribute to the discussion that's going on. And some of the consortium members that can't actually travel sometimes, they can still participate when that's going on. So we had a few bugs yesterday, some today, but we're working out with our IT department. And the Eastern Band IT department too, so I think we're gonna have a pretty good solution coming up for the next meeting. I also wanted to announce that the third annual Ignite conference, the language teacher training conference, is being held June 17th to the 20th. That's gonna be here in Tellico at the Heritage Elementary School. Registration information can be obtained by contacting Wade Blevins, and we have a flyer too that I can email to all y'all if you want to share that. The conference itself, it focuses on how to teach language to people that want to teach it. So like some of our community instructors might not be formally trained as teachers, but this helps them get the skills needed to actually teach the Cherokee language. And other tribes come to this as well. So this is our third year. It's been growing every year, so it's becoming kind of known as a really good place for people to go to learn how to teach language. And speaking of Wade Blevins, Wade was named to the World Languages Other Than English Advisory Group with the Oklahoma State Department of Education. This is a pretty great honor and responsibility that we have now with the Cherokee Nation. This will allow us to have a say in the development of tribal language initiatives at the state level. And this also will help us work on the revision of our state test for Cherokee teacher certification, which has been a challenge for us over the last several years. The test needs to be revised, so we're working with the state on the process of getting that revision through. And the final thing I have here, we have our Cherokee Language Online class registration opened up this week. Our classes begin April 8th, so the registration will be open next week too. If you want to register for the class, go to our website at learn.cherokee.org. And we have several community classes that have started this month too, so everything's underway for us in the language program.
What was that site again?
Learn.cherokee.org.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Raboni? Yes, Counselor.
Roy, I posted on my Facebook and there were so many people excited about that. Can you tell me how many have enrolled?
We don't have final numbers yet, but the last I checked, it was over 300.
Wow. Over 300. I'm so excited because this is an opportunity for every Cherokee to participate, and I'm thrilled that we're doing this, and I applaud those efforts you all have in the program. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, Roy, would you give me an update, if you could, on the progress of, we did a survey on the speakers, and I know we were developing a medallion, and you helped design that. Okay, and I think the medallion, Howard, on the last report, I think it was completed. Then we were going to do a authentic-looking registered book. How far along are we on that?
Well, Howard's here if he wants to come up and talk to
Oh,
us
is
about
Howard
it.
here?
But he's got the actual medallion with him.
Okay.
But the book itself it took a while to get the book, because what we're going to do is we're going to have these community meetings where we identify the speakers. The speakers will come and sign this book, but this book is going to be an archival book, so it's going to last hundreds of years. So Howard's been working on getting that made so we can have the proper ink, the paper, and the binding and all that, and so it's going to outlast everyone. It'll be a nice historical record for the Cherokees of the future.
When I first met with Dwayne King, and we talked about how we could move with this, you guys have done an outstanding job, and you took it and you just went with it. I really appreciate that. And if we can, when you get that book ready, I'd like to hurry up and do a community meeting, and I'm going to select a little place called Nycut Bellefonte for that, because I can identify each one of them.
That sounds wonderful. I do think that the inner part of the book has been printed, and we're in the process of binding that. We're hoping that will be completed next week, and so we should be up and running after that. And I think that the Bellefonte and Nycut is our first.
That would be good. And we could probably
On the
set that
list.
up maybe by May or somewhere. Is that the medallion?
Yeah, pass it around here.
That's Roy Boney artwork. So
Well, we're fortunate to have an in-house artist to
absolutely.
be able to do that. No, you guys, your staff, I commend them for taking this task on and just going with it. And you did it quicker than what I thought you would. What was our last number? What was our rough number?
Right now we have, I think it's 1,984. Although Translations has a list that when folks come in, if we're missing somebody, they're adding that. And when Master Apprentice finds one that we're missing, so that hasn't been updated. So there's probably
We need 16
30.
more, don't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just
Got 1990 on it right now.
1990. So
1990. Oh, that's a good year.
Oh, we need one more. No, we need 10 more.
Oh, these are really nice. And I like that they're light. Well, they're not bad medallion. Okay, any other questions? Yes, Counselor.
So what's
Okay.
how about the size difference? difference there on those?
Well, we went to several of our elder ladies, and they wanted a smaller medallion that they could wear comfortably.
And the men want something big there?
Right. So that's the
You could actually take the lady size and make a necklace out of it, and not take the ribbon off. I mean, I think that's what
That's a good
some of the
idea.
ladies I visited said they wanted to do.
I'd want to wear the big one.
Yes, ma'am.
Just one more question, Roy. On the language course online, can people continue to sign up for this course, and how long do they have to do that?
Well, what'll happen is the registration will stay open until April 7th. It's going to close at that point, but you can still sign up for the class. You just can't see it live, because what happens is the class is archived after it's over, so you can go back later and watch it.
Will these be available in the future where people can come back and view them?
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for this program. I think it's important.
That's what I hear out there in the communities. A lot of people won't know how they can take the class online, and you guys have created it. So, this old school of getting in front of chalkboard and trying to teach that's okay. But this way, you're meeting the needs of the masses there, which is great. Yes, Councilor Hatfield.
When we have at our at-large meeting a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to a gentleman that teaches in the Kansas area, Wichita area, and will he use the online, or is that separate? Like he's teaching the course. Okay, will he use the online materials, or does he have his own materials? His question was I think he had. I don't know, I forget the numbers, a large number, but he needed books, and he was making copies. He wasn't complaining, he just said he needed more copies. So are those available to them if they want to do it, like your teachers, as many copies, or is it up to them to make their own?
Well, we do provide copies. I know who you're talking about. What happened
Yes.
here is he used to live here in the area, and he taught for us here, but he moved to Kansas.
Yes.
And so he's started a community class in the Wichita
Yes.
area, which has been really popular.
It
We have
is,
like over
yes.
100 people showing up in the classes. So we can figure out a way to get him some books to give to the students. 'Cause
Well,
that's-
I'm constantly asking for books because I send them out to individuals. In fact, like 25 in Florida requested them, so I'm mailing those out. But they want the paper. They're aware of our online, and I think it's wonderful. But they like the book. They want to touch the book.
It is online, but it is kind of hard to read it. If
Yes,
you're on
and
your
that's what
phone
they
or
s-
screen or something. So
Yes.
yeah, we can get some books.
And that was
to do
but you can bring me as many books as you want. I mean,
Okay.
and if I have to request funds for book, I'll try that too. But
Well, we got
but-
a fresh reprint of them right
but-
now, so we got plenty on hand.
Mhm. And it is expensive to print if you're printing for 50 people.
Yeah,
So.
and this is later down the road, but there is a proposal on the table from University of Arkansas Press that wants to publish that book as an actual textbook. So we'll have to figure out the details on what that would mean, or if we do want to do that or not. But from what I understand, the university also wants to start a Cherokee language program there, so that we're looking for an instructor, and they want to use this book as a college level textbook.
Well,
That's gonna be good.
This gentleman opened our program with a prayer, and I was just, you're just kind of blown away because, and then he gave me the history, and I was just very impressed, and then he told me his history. Well, after he told me his history or his family, then I can understand why he's a fluent speaker, But anyway, thank you, Roy, for your work. Howard, thank you, Chair.
Yes.
Roy, is that book going to be available to everyone who signed up for that course?
Yes, for the online course, everyone gets access to the digital version of it. So currently we don't give a printed copy to the online students. But all the community classes that we have, everyone gets a copy printed in those classes.
What would the cost factor be to make it available to all the online registrants?
I believe each book costs about $6 or $7 to make. So however many people we have in that class, we could print that many books.
Is that a possibility? 300 people, is that a possibility to do that?
I think we probably could work that in. If not, we can always see if we can get a more budget for that. But because we currently are budgeted to print books just mainly for our in-person classes at the moment. So, but we can definitely look into that and see if we can how to make that happen.
That would
I
be
think
great.
I should make that happen if we want to get them books. So.
Thank you. Appreciate that. What
Yeah, that's a good answer too, because we were wanting to place all of our people that got trained and got the certification to teach. You know, if the University of Arkansas is taking the lead on that with Northeastern, you know, when you're teaching a language, it's very unique. You're not only teaching the language, but you're teaching the history and you're teaching the culture. So whomever that we're training to do that, you know, we go above and beyond just teaching a language. I mean, you're teaching who we are as Cherokee people, and that's the leverage that we need to use. So you guys are doing an outstanding job. Thank you for what you've done. Anything else? Well, those Steve suits.
Well done.
Steve, can you check? What'd you say? A new chair? Oh, a new chair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next we have the Historical Society. Dr. Charles Gord. Oh, he's here. He's limping a little bit, but he's here.
Each day it takes a little longer to get all the parts moving the same direction. I wanted to thank you all for the opportunity to come and visit with you about the beginning of our busy season. Here today with me, Brenda Parkane, who is our newest board member, and she comes to the cultural committee. Brenda is back here. I'm sure most of you know Brenda. And Cheryl Parrish, of course, who is in charge of all of our finances. And as I've said before, I can assure you that every penny is looked at very expeditiously before it is spent or obligated to anything. So today and tomorrow are our beginning of our work with the schools. The place is plumb full, so after this meeting, if you have time to volunteer to come out and work some of the sites, we have, as Roy mentioned, some of the language staff are there, but people from all of the Cherokee Nation programs volunteer and come out when we have that. So it is strictly, I think we have 18 or 22 stations set up, and the school buses were filing in. So we had them all the way from down at the Texas state line. So they do come in from all over the country for that. One of the things we met with on Tuesday, and there'll be a more detailed report to the health committee, thanks to Councilman Dobbins. We are working with the health department. We're going to do healthy food, lifestyle, and games in cooperation with the CDC grant that the health department got. And we'll be planting what we call in 2 gardens, one out in Dilligwa, which will be strictly of the old cultigens, and then in Adams Corner, so we'll have a garden in both places there, and the focus of our work is on what we call the 3 sisters. And Jessie has made a phenomenal, out of weaving baskets, she's woven some ears of corn, a squash, and some beans, so that's going to be the focus of it for healthy living, because the 3 sisters, as we all know, is a perfectly balanced diet. So we're going to teach how to prepare the ground, how to plant it, how to maintain it, how to harvest, and then how to prepare. So there'll be more in detail on that to the health committee. We're upgrading and reopening the blacksmith shop there. We have some people on site who are going to do training. We have a volunteer, Roger, who is a veteran, and he'll be learning how to do the blacksmith, and so we'll have regular exhibitions of what it was like to be running a blacksmith shop during Indian Territory days there in Adams Corner. We're working to expand our partnership with CCO, with especially the at-large meetings that they attend, so that we can have different component parts of the Heritage Center go out and do an introduction not only of our total operations, but specifically what they do in reference to the activities that are available and to encourage more membership. So we're doing that in coordination with and to hope we get a larger audience at the at-large communities, and then within the 14 counties, we're working with the recognized communities. One of the ideas we've had is that each community then can have the atrium for a certain amount of time, because we need to demonstrate to people that are coming in that Cherokee people are still here, alive and well today, and where we are, who we are, and what we're doing. We have reopened and expanded, and we want to make it a larger presence with the Tour Tahlequah. The Chamber of Commerce has a tourism council. We do have a presence and a seat on that now, so we'll be coordinating tourism activities. But in doing that, we also need to start looking at the other community chambers of commerce and their tourism, and working with Molly and them on the whole cultural tourism, how we can best package and present what we have available in Northeast Oklahoma. On April the 9th, I just remembered I've got to go give a talk to the School of Business at Northeastern. There's a professor there that I think he's from India. I could be corrected, but his idea is that this region, Northeast Oklahoma, needs to be an international point of destination. And how can we talk about doing that to prepare and then to promote what we can do to present ourselves in Northeast Oklahoma as an international point of destination. We're going to have the Five Tribes Ancestry Conference. We had it the first time last year at the Chickasaw Center. We're going to be using the new Echota Conference Center here. It'll be in September, and I'll have the full details, the agenda, and that. It's endorsed by the Intertribal Council of the Five Tribes. We work with both the registration departments and the historical societies and others who do family genealogies and history for all the five tribes, because collectively we use the Dawes Roll as our base. So it makes sense, and we do have a commitment from the Census Bureau. They're opening up another database. So this will be the first formal public announcement of that, of a whole major another Census Bureau database. So I think that is really significant that they made the commitment from the Denver office, so they'll be sending people down for that. We're moving our annual fundraising gala to the Echota Conference Center. That will be in early November, and we're in the beginning stages, and as soon as we have the finals and preparations for that, I'll report that back. We have a new activity. Shanice DeCloud, who does the outreach programs, is doing a trivia night, and she's doing a presentation at the Northeastern Symposium. And they use their smartphones to enter and answer and all that. But anyway, it's really fun to watch. She had some Tanya won it because Tanya made up the questions, but you know, that helps if you. Yeah, she didn't just have a cheat sheet; she made up the questions. The Will Rogers exhibit comes down on Monday, so this will be the last opportunity to come and look at the life of Will Rogers before he became famous and left. What were the influences? And working with Councilman Austin, we are the Will Rogers Memorial. We were working on it just this morning. One of the unique things, I think, and an incredible part of this exhibit is that once it comes down, it's not just put in storage or trashed or whatever else. It'll become a part of a permanent exhibit, both at the memorial and at the Will Rogers birthplace. So I think that is significant. I've never heard of another exhibit actually getting to become a part of a permanent home and location. Next Friday is the opening of the Trail of Tears Art Show and Sale. All of you are specifically and especially invited at 5 o'clock. We have the private showing, And I want to emphasize that this is not just an art show for Cherokees, but for all tribes. But also, this is your opportunity to come and really support the artists, because we need to emphasize that if we're going to be teaching these traditional ways and people are running these things, there needs to be sales associated with it, because that's how they make their living. So I really want to emphasize the point of it being a sale opportunity. Also working the youth art show will be in the chapel, the primary part of it there, so the awards and everything will be at 6 o'clock on Friday night. The upcoming exhibits for the summer we have in recognition of women's contributions it's called the Earthshakers, the Influence of Cherokee Women. This is in response to a national exhibit that's going to be going on and going up in Minneapolis, sponsored by the Shakopee. And then after it's on display there, it will take a national tour. And then we have partnered with the Philbrook, because they're going to be a host for the national traveling show that's coming. So this is our opportunity to spotlight and highlight Cherokee women and the women's contributions to our culture and our history. So that will be an exhibit that's coming up this summer. And this fall, the exhibit that I'm particularly excited about is Rob Darty's collection that he's been putting together since he was 10 years old. But it's American Indians in Major League Baseball, the first 50 years. And it's from 1897 to 1957. 47, 50. I better get my math. 47, sorry about that. Get my math right. And then this fall, we have the homecoming art show and sale for Cherokee Holiday. So I'll open it up to questions from there. We're just getting real busy.
Sounds like it. Questions for Dr. Gord? Golly, you did a good job. Hey, who's the coordinator for your volunteers there at the Heritage Center? Do we have people that's wanting to volunteer?
Barbara Gertie.
Barbara Gertie.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Community and Culture Outreach, Kevin Stretch.
Still to God.
Still, Kevin.
I need to let you take it though, huh? Roy Boney kind of stole my thunder on it, 'cause Howard's my rock star. I appreciate you guys talking about it. It's a really important program. We appreciate the Tribal Council's input on that. Anyway, you have my report, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Questions for,
You need any wood delivered? Let me know.
yes, Councilman.
All right,
Open it up.
So you're the man, huh? You're the man that does that?
We help out.
I thank you bailing me out on that deal.
Certainly.
And no fault of yours. The next load I needed, you were in Dallas, so that didn't do that elder any good. That's not your fault. That's why I keep digging at it, because you know, when they're out, they're out. And so I think I'm confident that we're going to find a good way to do this. But I do appreciate that when you bailed them out, and if you're out of the state or something, we need to figure out something on that too. But I thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good. Anybody else? Okay, Kevin, it looked like you did a good job, Kevin. Okay. Old business, none. New business, none. Announcements, it looks like May the 30th, 11 o'clock. This time, I make a motion, Agiosi, I entertain that. So moved, and second. All right, Agiosi.